What's up everyone, Nukin here, and I'm back with another Star Wars Galaxy Heroes video. And in this video, we're going to try and answer the question of how Bossk is Bossk in the heroic Sith raid. So in my last video, we took a look at the 4 bounty hunters. We didn't have Bossk yet available to us, but we looked at IG-88, Greedo, Dengar, and Boba Fett, and we put in Visas Mar, and we pitted them against Darth Nihilus in Phase 1 of the heroic Sith raid, and we did pretty good. But now that we have Bossk, we can see who is the best bounty hunter leader for Phase 1 against Darth Nihilus. Is it Dengar? Is it Bossk? And do we need Visas Mar anymore? Can we take off the training wheels? One of the biggest criticisms that I got from that video was, how dare you use Visas Mar with anyone but Resistance? And let me tell you, you can use Visas Mar with other factions. Jedi Training Array will be okay, I assure you. But anyways, we're gonna see what they can do. I still think that they'll probably do better in Phase 2 and Phase 4 of the heroic Sith raid, but it's going to be very interesting to see what a Bossk Lead can do against Darth Nihilus. So hopefully this video is informative and enjoyable, and if it is, give it a thumbs up. It means a lot. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I make videos all the time about this great game. And without further ado, let's see what these bounty hunters can do with a Bossk leadership. So before we get into the footage in just a second, let's recap and see what does Bossk actually bring to the table. So first off, he's a bounty hunter. So we didn't have that many bounty hunters. Now we have an extra bounty hunter, and he just happens to also have a pretty good leadership, a pretty good contract, and he also has a payout. So we know that Zam and Cad Bane did not get reworked this time around, and that the devs are planning on coming back around and giving them payouts as well. But now we actually have 5 bounty hunters that actually have a payout, so that is good. So basically now we have 5 bounty hunters that can all capitalize on the same sort of new mechanic of the contract and payout system, which is excellent. And then going on further onto his kit, Bossk has a assist attack that calls all bounty hunter allies to assist, and these type of abilities in the past have always been generally pretty good. We have that with General Kenobi, we have that with Cody, and so now we have that with Bossk, so that is good. On top of that, it has a conditional that reduces the cooldown of bounty hunter specials, which can be clutch when you're trying to perform combos. Now he also has a taunt, which will probably end up playing more of a role in Phase 2 against Darth Sion, but on that same ability, he has the capability of granting offense up the buff to all bounty hunter allies, and that is going to increase their damage significantly when you combine sort of the stacking critical damage bonuses that you get from the heroic Sith raid. And so they're going to be doing more damage on their critical attacks and on their non-critical attacks, but you definitely want them to be critting to capitalize on their bonuses. Bossk also brings a brand new leadership to the table, and it's pretty good. The contract reward is pretty good. 50 flat speed is no joke for the rest of the battle once you complete the contract. He also brings some damage mitigation. So against Darth Nihilus goes straight to the health pool, while bounty hunter allies have 100% defense while they're at full health. So it's sort of damage mitigation. Nihilus won't go deep into the health pool, and so it's easier to actually recover back to full health, and then you're going back to that sort of damage mitigation state. Whenever bounty hunter allies also try to do any debuffs with the Zeta on the leadership, they're going to recover 5% health and protection. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, no matter what, they're going to be recovering 5% health. It doesn't matter if the debuff resists or not, but it'll be interesting to see if that's enough health recovery to stay in the game against Darth Nihilus. And now for some gameplay. So basically where we left off last time was running Boba Fett and Dengar lead against Darth Nihilus in the heroic Sith raid, and so we took out Visas Mar, we put in Bossk, and before you Zeta Boss's leadership, because it basically is required if you want to face off against Darth Nihilus to get that health recovery whenever your bounty hunter allies are going to use debuffs, you're actually going to have to use Dengar lead for a while. Now that is going to be bringing that 50% health healthsteal to the table, and you can do some decent damage. You can do about 3% or so without Visas Mar, with Bossk, with a Dengar lead against Darth Nihilus. So that is a thing, but we're not here to see Dengar lead. We saw that sort of in the last video, and Boba Fett was better there, and I think Bossk is also better than Dengar lead. So poor Dengar, he got a brand new leader ability, and we're not even gonna be using it anywhere really. So it is what it is, but that is Dengar lead. So now let's get into the real show. Let's look at some Bossk gameplay. And now for some Bossk-led bounty hunters against Darth Nihilus. So what I like to do is start off by using his second special. Now I get dazed here, which prevents my turn meter generation on Bossk because he has frenzy as well when he uses that. And so the daze actually counters that, but I wasn't really going for a maximum score. But if you were looking to basically go for a top score, you definitely don't want to start off the match getting dazed. Anyways, so for Bossk, just like all the other bounty hunter teams, you want to start off the match by completing the contract reward. Now for Bossk Lead, it's a little bit different from all the bounty hunters. Every bounty hunter leader has a specific different contract, but as you can see, within just like 30 to 60 seconds, we have completed the contract, which is pretty nice to do because now all of our bounty hunters have their payouts. Their payout abilities, their individual payout abilities, in my personal opinion, and I still stand by this, are actually specifically, I believe, stronger for the most part than most of the contract rewards. Although 50 flat speed is pretty nice to have on your characters, I think doing more damage is still probably better. Also, on top of doing damage, they do a bunch of other stuff. But for example, like let's just look at Boba Fett's payout. He gets a bunch of defense armor penetration, which is awesome for the heroic Sith raid. That's probably way more valuable than just 50 speed, especially since these raid bosses have very high defense. Regardless if the individual payouts are better or worse, it doesn't really matter. What matters is actually getting it, and for Bossk Lead, you need to damage the weakest enemy 10 times. So that will actually change, and so when you're damaging the Sith Assassin versus damaging the Sith Marauder, their health pools are going to vary, and so sometimes you'll have to switch targets, but basically it's not too hard to do because on Bossk's first special, he can call all the bounty hunter allies to assist. And so if you're running all bounty hunters, there's 5 attacks right there. So, and that's half the contract. So not very hard to complete, which is nice. So let's change gears and take a look at the damage mitigation from Bossk's leadership. So let's roll back this clip and look at Boba Fett. On Darth Nihilus's first attack, which is a crit, he does 6.8k and then proceeds to do 8k on a non-crit. So basically, if he crit, it would probably have been in the 10,000s. Now in my last video when I was using Visas Mar, I was using Unbreakable Will on Visas to try to maximize some damage, and I believe probably one of the better options to put the Unbreakable Will would be a character that can quickly recover HP, so Bossk can heal himself, I think like half his health pool, so that's a good option. I believe Greedo is got some pretty good health steal as well. Boba Fett is also good because if you have bounty hunters resolve, he's just gonna fall over and die, but that's okay because when he dies he gets back 100% health. So he just died, and so he loses his bounty hunter's resolve, but we can quickly gain that back by killing off one of the side mobs, whether it be the Sith Assassin or the Sith Marauder with Boba Fett. Another tip to using bounty hunters against Darth Nihilus, but this is a tip that you can use against basically any raid boss. Whenever you attack a raid boss, they gain about 5% turn meter because of their fearsome foe ability. Now if you're using bosses call all bounty hunter allies to assist, the best time to actually use it is when the raid boss has full turn meter, like so right here, because you can actually not go above 100% turn meter. Once you reach 100%, you take your your turn, you're not giving as much turn meter to the raid boss when you're calling all the people to assist. So that's another little tip to squeeze in a little bit of extra damage when you're raiding. So focusing back on the enrage timer, we're at the enrage timer of 5, and with a Zeta Bossk Lead, we are not in dire need of assistance of a healer sort of support character. The Zeta on Boss's lead is enough health recovery to recover health when Darth Nihilus does his attacks straight to your bounty hunter ally's health pool. In fact, I just want to show you something crazy. Look at IG-88 here just doing his special ability. So take a look at IG-88, he's doing his special, and look at all that health and protection recovery. This is the power of a Zeta Bossk Lead. So you can do that with any character that has a bunch of debuffs. Dengar has a bunch, Greedo can put out some thermal detonators, Boba Fett has ability block on his first special, and so as long as there's like one or both of the side mobs and you do one of your bounty hunter ally special abilities that puts out some debuffs, your bounty hunter allies are going to recover a bunch of health and protection. It's enough to actually go back to full HP and get back to that sort of damage mitigation state, and so it's pretty good. So now let's talk damage. So basically what we can see from this is that a Bossk led bounty hunter squad can go the distance, they can make it to the enrage against Darth Nihilus. And so on my first attempt here, I think I did about 2%. Now that's probably not the ceiling. I think you could do way higher. This was basically my only attempt that I made. I did a Dengar attempt and I did a Bossk attempt. So you could probably get closer to 3%, which is good. You're not using Visas Mar, you're using all your bounty hunter allies, and keep in mind that the modding isn't superior. In my last video, if you took a look at the modding, I had like characters with 60 to 70 flat speed coming from the mods, so not the best modding either. So you definitely can do way more damage than this, but overall I don't think you're gonna get a team that can do as much damage output as the Resistance can against Darth Nihilus. They're just so dominant even after the exposed change. So we got close to 1 million with a Bossk led bounty hunter team, but where they're really going to excel is when you can capitalize on the stacking critical damage with the cycle of pain and cycle of suffering mechanics. So for that reason, I believe they're going to do way more damage in phases 2 and 4 because they're that cycle of pain and cycle of suffering stacks. So where you can find cycle of pain and cycle of suffering is when you're facing off against Darth Scion, which is in either phase 2 or phase 4. Now the fact that I demonstrated that a Bossk leadership can go the distance against Darth Nihilus, they can make it to the enrage, that means that you could probably put your bounty hunter squad in phase 4 as well and capitalize on doing even more damage because you're getting the cycle of pain and cycle of suffering offense boosts. So that pretty much wraps up everything that I wanted to share with you all. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Bossk. Is he really a Bossk in the heroic Sith raid, or is he kind of lackluster? Let me know what you guys think. Eventually we'll all have access to a 7-star Bossk, and we'll be able to have the flexibility of probably putting him in multiple phases in the heroic Sith raid. Let me know what you guys are thinking about running him. Are you going to put him in phase 1, 2, or 4? And if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and make videos all the time. And I'll see you guys all in my next video. Cheers.